So again, next up, the next two competitors coming down the line, the 5 and the 20 teams. They'll stage their cars, get them ready. We've got a few different drivers that are joining these teams. A little bit of fun for family and friends that are able to take advantage of this. Driving the 5 team will be Ronnie Simka, and in the 20 car will be Max McLaughlin.
Max weighs a total of 100 pounds. You want a light driver because that crews, they're having to push that driver as well.
There's the
actual driver.
Yeah, Joey Logano.
Joey Logano here to cheer on his team, which is a lot of fun. One gas can man. In years past, we have had 7 people go over the wall because you used to have a catch can.
Yeah.
In the old gas, the way we used to do the gassing. And now, because there is a vented system, we only have 1 gas man, so there's only 6 guys pushing the car now.
So it really puts an added load on everybody as far as that's concerned, especially the jackman, because he's the guy you always kind of count on to get this thing going, because he's supposed to be the biggest bruiser on this team as far as size and strength is concerned.
Well, and again, size does matter when you're talking about a gas man, because you've got to come in at the right angle so that you don't spill into the gas. And we see the driver of the number 11 team, he's kind of hanging out watching.
Well, he's watched his team win 2 consecutive pit crew championships. Jeff Gordon looks on. A Hendrick team has never won the Sprint Pit Crew Challenge.
And you know what's interesting? You look at Jeff Gordon, you think about in years past, the guys who were really, I guess, famous as far as pit crews were the Rainbow Warriors. And we'll introduce the 20 team now. The Gasman, John Eicher. Then it's John Royer, Joe Crossen, Chris Taylor, Eric Groen, and Jason Tate. They make up the 20 team. On the other side of the aisle will be the 5 team, and that's Chris Fasolka, Kelly Kellis, Michael Oxidine, Kip Wolfmeyer, Ben Fishbeck, and Jeff Carr.
One thing I noticed reading the bio of all these crew members for the 5 team, every one of them in their spare time, which is not much, they love to hunt.
They do, and that's something that I think goes hand in hand. Jeff,
man, what's wrong with you guys? I thought everybody hunted.
Hey, you can join us on the broadcast and join in the conversation. All you have to do is, when you're tweeting, just include the hashtag Sprint All-Star. And again, this kicks off Sprint All-Star Week on Speed. We have got plenty of coverage of everything that's taking place, not only with the Sprint Pit Crew Challenge, but also everything taking place at the track tomorrow.
Watch the focus on these guys. Watch each one of them. They're getting ready to get themselves zoned out, knowing what they've got to do. We're going to see a lot of emotion coming out of their faces tonight, because guess what? They're not wearing helmets. We can see their faces.
A lot of intensity. And right when that buzzer goes off, I think the nerves go away and it takes over what they've practiced so many times.
Saw the jackman for the 5 team, Jeff Carr, getting to that car. He's getting there way before the jackman, Jason Tate of the 20 team. And boy, that 5 team, they get that car moving and rolling.
And now can they get it going now? They're still missing some crew members. Can they pick up the pace and hold off the 20 crew?
Pretty good time for the 5 team, 22.975 unofficially. We're going to be checking to make sure there wasn't any penalties. It looks like there is at least a 5-second penalty on the 5 team in the gas area.
And I'm seeing it also on the 20 car too. So over here, I'm seeing a 5-second penalty here, which will help negate the one against the
the 5 and they're going to counter the 5 and the 20. Now I tell you what was very impressive right now, the jackman, Jeff Carr, just posted the best time of 5.291 seconds.
But that's the reason you can't quit. Even if you know you've made a mistake, you can't quit, because the other team may make more mistakes.
Well, here we go again, guys, talking about, keeping it clean. And you see, that's what happened right there. It was not a good connection right there with the 5 car. A lot of fuel loss. They now have over 10 seconds of penalties right there. 11 seconds as a matter of fact.
I talked about a great number for the jackman there, Jeff Carr. The fastest anyone has ever done this competition from the jackman position was done last year by Mike Casto, who is the jackman for the 14 car, and he did it in 5.071 seconds. So a very quick time for the jackman.
Kip Wolfmeyer, the rear tire changer for Casey Kane's number 5 team. I know we saw that gas spilling, but that's not actually gas, it's colored water. The coloring is snow cone coloring.
The first 2 have advanced. The 21 and the 20 team will move on to the next round.
That's right, fastest team in the first round. Joey Logano, I want to know, did you give him a pep talk going into the second round here?
They don't need a pep talk. They did a good job the first round. I told them no mistakes. That's what's been winning these things, just being smooth. So they don't get them fired up too much, but they don't need it. They're good enough.
Joey Logano and I joking around. This is the first time I'm looking up to him, guys.
Well, he's standing on a pedestal. That helps. Take a look at the 20 team. Again, John Eicher, John Royer, Joe Crossen, Chris Taylor, Eric Groen, and Jason Tate. On the other side of the wall, they go up against Wes Evans, Eric Maycroft, Craig Curion, Brandon Hopkins, Adam Mosher, and Brian Hootie Chase. Again, this will be the first time you'll see that team because they were in the top 8 in the standings.
Now, the competition, 24 teams. How you become eligible, it's the 20 teams that's already locked into the Sprint All-Star race, and then the top 4 in owner points that are not in it, which would include the 56 and the 20 car.
We'll see if they can continue to advance through the competition.
Can you handle the pressure right here? Here's a guy who knows how to handle pressure. Driver, that number 55.
And he's been
Martin
close
Truex
this
Jr.
year.
Yes, he has
That
been knocking on the door, and he needs the support of these guys right each and every Sunday. Now he's down there supporting them.
Jackman, Brian Hootie Chase goes into action for the 56 car.
Brian, one of the smaller jackmen, but I talked to Brian. He's an avid bicyclist, and he said, I think my quickness outweighs the fact that I'm not a big guy.
It's technique a lot. Here we talk about technique. The 20 car is already driving down the lane, and the 55 is trying to close up. They're not going to be able to do it. So it's time to go back to the scorecard one more time. Who made mistakes and who did not?
Right now, it looks as though the 20 team beats them to the line at 23.192 seconds. Are they penalty free? That's the big question.
They are, I believe.
They are.
Yeah.
It looks as though all green for the 20 team. So the 20 team will advance into the final 8.
You know, one thing real quick, guys. I know they're disappointed that they got beat. But if you have to lose, at least lose with no penalties. I mean, if you just got flat out beat, that you didn't beat yourself. It's small consolation, but that's something that's important to the pit crew coaches as well as the drivers, because they've worked so hard to eliminate mistakes.
And ultimately, when it was all said and done, they lost by a half a second. So you think about that. If you make no mistakes on pit road in the middle of a race and only a half a second,
that's what a half a second looks like right there.
And let's go down to that.
I'm here with Jimmy Johnson. He's talking to him.
Welcome back to the NASCAR Sprint Pit Crew Challenge. We're down to the final 8. We're about to determine the first semifinalists. It will be between the 20 and the 48 team. Take a look at the pit crew for the 48 guys.
Yeah, Hendrick Motorsports still a couple of bullets in the running here. The 88 and the 48. Joe Gibbs Racing still with the 20 and the 11 in the final 8.
And Roush has got 2 teams, as well as Childers has 1, and Stuart Haas with the 14 of Tony Stewart are still involved in this competition in the semifinals. Or headed to the semifinals.
It just looks like right now, with 8 teams left to go, no mistakes, especially in the fuel spillage, and in who can get that car rolling first.
And again, the winner of this competition gets the first selection for pit stalls for the All-Star race. We're back underway.
Calvin Teague, Matt Terrell on the rear for the 48 team.
Watching TJ Ford right now, the Jackman. He's headed down the pit lane already to get that 48 car rolling.
Little different philosophy. The first 2 to the 20 car went to the front. The second guy to the 48. All the 48 guys are to the rear, and there they go.
Pulling away, and they're trying to conserve their energy. 22.903 for the 48 team. If they're penalty free, they move on.
And once again, if you see Chad Knaus going to congratulate these guys, but just before the end of the finish line, you've seen a lot of the guys look over, they knew where the 20 car was, and they waved everybody off.
Looks like to me the 48 team penalty free. I see all green zeros.
And they were first to the stripes, so the 48 team is going to advance. So there's our first semifinalist. 48 team. Chad Knaus, the crew chief. Jimmy Johnson, your 5-time champion.
Yeah, the gas man for the 20, Jason Tate, he had one hand pushing the car, one trying to get that right front tire rolling.
And there's different techniques that these guys use just in this pit crew challenge to try to do these things.
again, we see this tire change going on here. That's what they're normally used to doing. The push is something that's totally different, and everybody has their own philosophy, how to get the cars going and driving through.
Bob Dillner.